All right, everybody, Phil with Vigor Training. We're back out on the range today to tackle Maryland's law enforcement duty handgun qualification course of fire. So in the series 50 states, we are up to Maryland. And Maryland is a lot like Connecticut from 2 weeks ago in that they do not have a specific course of fire. However, Maryland has a lot more information about their required qualification course of fire parameters than the state of Connecticut did. So for instance, in Maryland, it is a minimum 30-round course that must be fired 3 times or 3 consecutive courses with a minimum passing score of 70%. They also dictate target size. So they dictate that the maximum target size, scoring target size zone, is 725 square inches. So today we're going to be using the FBI Q target. That's a little bit smaller than that, but again, it's 725 square inches maximum scoring size. And then from there, in that minimum 30 rounds, they set a whole bunch of minimum standards. First, they dictate the number of rounds that must be fired from each yard line. So at each yard line that they dictate, or groups of yard lines, they dictate a minimum of 10% of the rounds and a maximum of 40% of all rounds fired. So it's at least 3 rounds and at maximum 12 rounds can be fired at each set of yardage. First is greater than 25. Then it is from 10 yards up to 25. Then 5 to 10 yards and closer than 5 yards. So it must be a minimum of 10%, maximum 40% for each of those 4 blocks. They also dictate maximum allotted time per drill without telling you the specific drill. Okay, starting off back far, you get a minimum of 5 seconds per shot. Then from the 10 to 25, or just before 25, you get a maximum of 4 seconds per shot. Then from 5 to 10, 3 seconds, and inside 5, 2 seconds per shot. Okay. Interestingly, if you add movement to the course of fire, they give you a maximum of 5 seconds to move from position to position. And if you incorporate reloads in the course of fire, they give you a maximum for semi-automatics. They give a revolver time, it's ridiculous. But we're gonna focus on semi-auto. They give a maximum of 8 seconds. 8 seconds per reload that you conduct. Now, Maryland also dictates things you must do. Okay, they dictate that you must fire the weapon two-handed strong hand and two-handed support hand, meaning gun and support hand, two-handed grip, which we'll talk about when we get to it because I am not a fan, huge pet peeve of mine. Okay, they also mandate strong hand only and support hand only, as well as positions. You must shoot from standing, kneeling, and a minimum of 2 different covered or barricade positions. So all of that gets wrapped up into a course of fire, and the course of fire kind of writes itself. I know that each individual agency has their own approved and they use that. So I just made a very generic one. But what I did, guys, I want you to understand, I'm gonna shoot the double half because what I did was I ran the maximum times. I set the allotted times based on Maryland's maximums because I want to highlight how ridiculously poor and easy those standards are when you factor that much time per shot. In a lot of cases, the maximum amount of time for 1 shot, you should be able to accomplish multiple rounds in that time frame. Okay, so we're going to give the Maryland standards a try again. This is just a course of fire that I made up on my own within Maryland compliance. Let's give it a shot. For the first course of fire, I'm at the 25-yard line. I'm going to be firing 2 rounds right side, 2 rounds left side barricade. I'm gonna do this while switching the gun to the same side of my hand. Guys, a huge pet peeve of mine. Absolutely a ridiculous, nonsensical, non-behaviorally compliant, worthless technique. There's no reason to switch the gun to the support hand. For those of you guys who still believe that old school nonsense of you get a better position and you're more covered, it's bullshit. You're not. Not with a handgun. With a rifle, you might be able to make that argument. You gain an arm, you gain some more exposure, just a slight amount. But again, I argue in most cases we're better off staying on our strong side, even with a rifle, unless it's a long hold. With a pistol, it's absolutely irrelevant. It's nonsense. But it is required in Maryland's course of fire, so I'm going to do it. Again, I get 5 seconds per shot, so I gave myself the 20 seconds. So this is 2 right side, 2 left side, left-handed in my case, in 20 seconds. Here we go. Okay, we pushed up to the 15-yard line. I'm going to be firing 2 rounds standing, 2 rounds kneeling, and within Maryland compliance of 4 seconds per shot, I've got 16 seconds to do this. Hope I can make it. .635. Now from the 10, we've moved up. I'm going to be going 3 rounds, reload, 3 rounds. Staying compliant with the maximum allotted times for the shots fired, the 6 rounds fired, plus the 8 seconds for reload. That means I have 32 seconds to do this. So let's see what we can do. I didn't even bother downloading the gun. I'm just going to do a reload with retention. Yeah, I like that magazine. That looks good. Oh, let's press a little bit. Oh. Still 2209, even with my theatrics. Pushed up to the 7. Draw to 2 rounds. Very simple, very standard. With the maximum allotted time, though, I could have up to 6 seconds. So I'm going to take the 6 seconds. This is just a highlight. I know most agencies don't take the maximum times, but this is how disappointing and ridiculous the code is written for Maryland. 6 seconds to do this. 3 seconds per round. Here we go. Give it a try. .168. I'm gonna repeat that drill again. .161. Taking my time, nice and easy. We're up to the 5 now, so our times are getting faster, but we're still in that 5 to less than 10 zone, so I still have a ton of time. So we're gonna go ahead here, and I'm gonna be shooting 2 rounds strong hand only, transition support hand, and fire 2 rounds support hand only, okay? For that, I've got 12 seconds. All right, 12 seconds. Here we go. Almost in halftime with the yawn, 7.66. Now I'm up to the 3-yard line. I'm gonna draw and fire 4 rounds in 8 seconds. Okay, here we go. .175. Same spot, still 3 yards. Now just 2 rounds, 4 seconds. And we're going to finish off finally. 2 rounds strong hand only, still 4 seconds. .164. All right, let's see. Now, guys, I'm going to own these shots as we walk up and take a look. I'm going to own those 2 uglies, which are still scoring compliant. They are still within the score zone, but those little devils right there, all right? Those were both my 2 shots from 25, left hand, 2 hand supported. I don't shoot it much. I don't train it. It's nonsense. Not an excuse. They're still hits, but I'm there. So I'd have to do this 2 more times and pass with at least a minimum of 70%. As you can see, guys, I nailed it 100%. All right. I'm also thinking this is going to be the first one that I have a possibility of nailing 100% in the double half. So we're about to find out. Let's give it a shot. .207. 188 with a handful of shirt. Now let's see how we did. I can already see, unfortunately, I missed my goal of a perfect on the double half, thanks to those 2 rounds right there from the 50. 28 out of 30 on a double half though. I'll take it. All right guys, so there you have it. That's Maryland's duty handgun qualification course. I only fired it once. I know you need to fire it 3 times, and I shot it using the very bare minimums. I know that there are great agencies in Maryland, Worcester County. I've trained with Frederick, Maryland. I know Frederick has a pretty good standard. They do better with the courses of fire, and they make them more challenging, as they should. But with the state's minimums, they're really, really easy, guys. So when we go ahead to difficulty and we score out Maryland, I got to give you a 1. You were this close to being the first state to earn a 0 in difficulty. If I run your double half perfect, you guys get a 0. But I made it and I set it at your minimums, your minimum standards. So difficulty, you get a 1. All right, now relevance, okay? Relevance is hard to score on this because agencies could do a really good job, they could do a really poor job, okay? So relevance, I'm gonna give you in the middle. I'm gonna say a 3. And honestly, it could be anywhere from a 1 to a 5. Some agencies could do very relevant. They could add movement, they could add multimodal techniques that come into play here. They could do all kinds of things. They could be really diverse. But it's up to the individual agency, and I don't mind that flexibility. Like all things, the bigger the government control, usually the worse it is. So I don't mind giving you a little bit of control at individual levels. So relevance, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a 3. All right, now, shootability. Same thing, guys. Shootability, this is actually pretty easy. The course of fire that I designed, Maryland compliant, I could belt that out quick. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a 4. Okay, shootability is gonna be a 4 on that. All right. Now, as far as administration is concerned, I'm also going to give Maryland a 4 in administration. Right? And the reason behind that is that's a simple course. That took me all of 5 minutes to design a Maryland compliant course. Even though it's specific and it's detailed, it's simple. Okay, it's very easy. So as an instructor, and scoring it, in-out scoring I can utilize. 70% bar is low. We covered that in difficulty. All right, that's why you got the low difficulty score of Maryland. That's what hurt you. Okay, so overall, Maryland, you're gonna be scoring a 12 out of 20. Not too bad. And again, I know agencies that run their courses of fire that design this that could probably flex that all the way up to a 16 or even 17. Okay, you've got the leeway to do it from the state. I suggest you use it because the bare minimum standard that Maryland sets forth, it's a joke, guys. It really, really is a joke. All right, if you like this video, go ahead and comment on the YouTube page here. Like, subscribe, check us out on other social media at Vigor Training, and watch us next week as we travel south to South Carolina.